Good evening, everyone. I'm seeing people just jumping on. We'll give everybody a couple minutes to get here. If there's anything in particular that anyone wants to work on tonight, hips, back, neck, sides, if you want to just drop that in the comments, we can make sure that we stretch those parts and get them moving. Hi, Ashley and Barb. Looks like my window there is getting kind of blown out by the sun and doing strange things to my head. Hopefully that won't interfere with what you see on the mat. I heard shoulders from Debbie, and we are on the same wavelength because I'm having some shoulder problems, and I worked a few things in for shoulders tonight. Absolutely. Barb, you're very welcome. I'm hearing a lot from people this week that are some frustrating things happening out in the world that are sometimes saddening, sometimes maddening, and I'm happy to have this time that we all can take a breath, go internal for a little bit, spending some time with ourselves and our own minds and our own bodies. We are going to use a strap tonight, so if you've got a strap like this, that's great. If you don't, then maybe grabbing a belt or a scarf real quick. Even maybe if you've got a robe, sometimes the robes on the belts on the robes work really, really well. So you'll want it long enough that you can wrap it around the bottom of your foot and have a nice handle on it. So you will need a scarf or a strap, something you can use. When you're ready and you've starting to maybe find yourself on your back, settling in, melting into the mat or the floor, wherever it is that you are. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, holding it for just a moment, and then taking a nice long audible exhale, breathing in again through the nose, holding at the top of that breath, and then taking a nice long audible exhale. Finding yourself coming into a breath that feels even, balanced, and comfortable. For our breath tonight, we don't want it to be labored. We want it to feel easy and put you at ease. Continuing with that breath. If you've been with me the last couple of classes, I've been going through some of the yamas in yoga. And we're up to the third one. It's asteya, non-stealing. And what I like about focusing on this and considering some of the things that I witnessed or experienced this week, it made a lot of sense to me to focus on this yama. I'll read a couple little things while you're breathing, just to think about, just to absorb. So when we talk about asteya, non-stealing, we recognize that all demands and expectations that we place on ourselves steal away from our own enthusiasm. All self-sabotage, lack of belief in ourselves, low self-esteem, judgment, criticisms, and demands for perfection are forms of self-abuse in which we destroy the very essence of our vitality. All the ways we live in the past or the future steal from ourselves and our present. And all the ways we put up fences, whether real or imagined, around our physical belongings or around our mental idealisms, we put up barriers that steal from the full expansion of our own lives. We need time to chew and ponder and allow the experience of life to integrate within us. We need time to rest and to reflect and to contemplate. So I thought this was timely, where we're gifted right now, with the time to process and move through so much. Also, spending a lot more time online, seeing what people are doing, sharing in others' experiences. There's also a lot of openness there for starting to have some comparisons. And those comparisons may or may not be helpful. So keeping that asteya in mind tonight, not stealing from yourself. Allowing yourself to feel and be present in your practice, connected with your breath, and also giving yourself the opportunity to let go of anything that might not be serving you. Taking a couple more deep breaths, filling up, expanding those lungs, taking a pause, and a loud, audible exhale. One more time, inhaling through the nose, releasing, exhaling out of the mouth, letting it be audible. Not caring if the person in the next room can hear you. One last time, in through the nose. Nice, audible breath out the mouth. When you're ready, we'll begin to bring the knees up to the chest. Make sure your strap is somewhere nearby. Pulling those knees up tight, allowing yourself to be in the smallest, tightest little ball that you've been all day. Maybe finding stillness or maybe rocking back and forth. Closing the eyes here and really feeling the lower back rooted into the earth. Feeling yourself melt into the mat. When you're ready, we're going to take this strap and loop it around your left foot. The right foot comes to the mat. This left foot, once we loop it, comes straight up to the ceiling. So we're lifting that foot, letting that leg be long, a strap in each hand. This right leg can stay bent or it can come long. It's just a preference, whatever feels good in your body. And we'll first take this left foot in some tiny circles in one direction, focusing on what that feels like in the hip. As we start to rotate, move in different directions, reversing the direction of those circles. We'll switch both of the straps into the left hand and allow that left leg to start to open up towards the left side. Trying as much as possible here not to stress this left arm. Allow everything to feel easy. Maybe letting some of the tension go in your arm or your leg. Maybe it's moved up into the jaw. Just breathing, allowing this hip to open, stretch. When you're ready, we'll lift this leg through center. Here, you may want to let this right leg come long. We'll take this straps over into the right hand and allow that foot to come across the body towards the floor, getting a nice twist into the lower back here. Left arm can be towards the floor, it can be in T. We want to try to keep this left shoulder towards the mat. If it doesn't stay there entirely, it's not a big deal. But that's what we're working towards. Taking a couple breaths here. Noticing how that hip feels. Noticing if the stretch has moved to another part of the body. Noticing how this pushes the right hip into the earth. How that is now grounded in. Releasing this left leg through center. Taking the straps into both hands. Bringing the right foot up to meet the left. And just taking a second here to notice how different they feel. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Leaving the strap on that right foot, letting the left leg come to the ground or be bent so that that foot comes to the floor. I'm going to take both straps, one in each hand, and start to toe this tiny circles with this right leg up towards the ceiling. Paying attention and trying to breathe into that space in the right hip. Reversing the direction. When you're ready, both straps come into the right hand. The leg the leg begins to open to the right side here. Not trying to force anything. Trying to loosen up if there's any tension in that right arm. Taking a couple of breaths. Exploring and noticing. When you're ready, we'll bring this right foot up and across the body. You may want to take that left leg long onto the mat. Letting this twist happen, feeling it, that lower back or possibly down the leg, the IT band. Trying to work so that this right shoulder stays down on the mat. Using that strap to help support your stretch. Noticing how that left hip is now firmly rooted down into the earth, melting into the mat. Two more breaths. When you're ready, letting that right leg come long up overhead once more. Left leg comes to meet the right. The feet are together here. Just finding one more breath or two in this candlestick pose, supported with our strap. When you're ready, bending the knees, releasing the strap, leaving it close by because we will be using it in a little bit. Maybe taking a rock side to side or letting those knees draw big circles on the ceiling. Balancing out one direction and then the other. And when you're ready, we'll begin to rock back and forth. Taking a few rocks back and forth to really massage the spine. When you're ready, we'll rock all the way up to a seat. Closing the eyes here. Taking a couple of breaths, bringing the hands to the knees. Feeling rooted through those sit bones, connected with your mat, connected with the earth. When we talk about grounding, we talk about the fact that some would say that the earth is there to receive the things that we're ready to let go of. So when you're grounding in yoga or any other practice, imagine releasing into that space where we're grounded. When you're ready, we'll inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling one last time, arms up overhead. This time we're going to go ahead and take a forward fold. So the hands come down in front to your shins, to the floor. Maybe it's a tiny bend and that's what's available. Maybe you're folded all the way over onto your forearms. Maybe your head touches the floor. The only thing that matters here is that the stretch feels good in your body, the way that you're built, what's available to you today. Taking one more breath here in this fold. Walking those hands over to the right. And taking them for a walk over to the left. Back through center. Rising nice and slow. We'll take the arms overhead here, interlacing the fingers and letting the palms flip up towards the sky. Keeping the shoulder blades down on the back, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Taking a tiny bend over towards the right. through center and over towards the left. Through center, we'll bring the arms still connected in front of us. And almost like we're driving a car, tilting from side to side, pretending those hands are your steering wheel. Feeling how that stretch will move across the back, into the shoulder blades. Letting the hands come up towards the ceiling. Releasing those arms, hands down to the floor. Closing the eyes here. Taking a breath. Exhaling out. We'll come to clasp the arms behind the back. And with the hands clasped, we're going to bring our fist over to the right side so that our fist is sitting on our right hip. Look like this. So from here, we're moving to here. Feeling that stretch along the left arm here. We'll start to take our right ear towards our right shoulder. Feeling that stretch across the left side of the neck, maybe into the arm on the left side. Trying to keep this right shoulder relaxed. Maybe taking your gaze down towards your knee. And back to front. Taking those clasped hands across the back and over to that left hip now, sitting in that space on the left hip, or however close you can get to that side. Sitting up nice and tall here. We'll take the head over towards the left side. Closing the eyes. Finding your breath. If you're doing something new, it's likely that your breath may have sped up. Finding some comfort here, some safety. Taking that gaze down towards that left knee. Back through center. Releasing those arms. Maybe giving yourself a hug just to stretch those shoulders out, different direction. Maybe opening your arms out wide. Taking the hands to the knees, we'll do a couple seated cats and cows here. So we'll go ahead and let the tailbone tuck. The back will arch. Using the hands on the knees as leverage, you can almost sit back a little bit and tuck the chin. Inhale, we fill the belly, everything opens up, comes forward. Our chin might tip up towards the ceiling. Those shoulders come down the back. With your own breath, we'll move through this cat and cow, 5 breaths. If there's any other movement that you want to incorporate, go for it. Often in yoga we have this thought that, oh, it might feel good if. And at home you've got 100% freedom to try the things that your body is asking for. One more breath with these cats and these cows. When you're ready, we will grab the strap. Hopefully it's still close by, or whatever you're using as a strap. If you want to go ahead and switch up the legs so that The opposite leg is on the outside. We've been sitting for a while, so to help keep us balanced a little bit. We'll take the strap in both hands and have the arms come out so that your fists are right in front of your shoulders. Everything is long and even. We'll go ahead and rise those arms up overhead. And we'll start to let the strap slide just a bit, wide enough so that you can start to let those arms, let that strap come behind your head. Let those arms come down the back very, very slowly, really working into the front of the shoulders here. Slowly coming down, all the way to the bottom. Bringing that strap back around to the front. We'll do it again, this time, as we start to come down the back. If there's any space that feels extra good, maybe we stay there and let that strap kind of go up and down, massaging into that space in our shoulders. Creating some extra room. When you're finished releasing, letting that strap come to the side again. Taking this right arm across the body, using the left arm to hold on to the upper arm here. Just allowing the stretch to happen on the reverse side of that shoulder. The left arm up and across. Same thing happens here. Releasing those arms. When you're ready, we'll come into hands and knees. So however you can get there, whatever is comfortable for you. We'll begin to start moving into some cats and cows here, just warming up the spine. So on our cows, we drop the belly, we let the tailbone tip up, we push through the shoulders, our chin goes up towards the front wall. On our exhales, we curve everything in, we let the air squeeze out of the belly. Looking towards our knees, our tailbone is tucked down, we're pushing really firmly into those shins and through those hands. Inhales, we drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, everything curves in. Taking another few breaths here. Maybe finding some additional movement, so letting your tail wag side to side, peeking over a shoulder, maybe letting a foot come out behind you, getting a little calf stretch on one side and the other. Whatever works for you, closing the eyes. Two more breaths. When you're ready, we're going to come back to sit on our heels. If that doesn't work for you, you can tuck something behind your legs. You can sit in a cross-leg position. You can come to sit on a block, putting a block between the knees so that you can come to sit on it. So whatever works for you. We're going to let the hands come out to the sides, almost like doing mountain pose, but we're seated on the floor. On our inhales, the arms are going to come up and we'll come to stand on our knees. Maybe taking our gaze up towards the ceiling. On our exhales, we're going to fold, come down almost like child, letting these arms come out to the sides behind us. Inhales, we come up onto the knees. Exhale as we bow down, the hands come down, the forehead comes down. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale, coming down. One more time with your own breath. Inhale moves up. Exhale comes down. I myself have been taking a lot of online classes, and this is one that I'm going to borrow from one of my favorite teachers online. It was something new to me and it felt really good, particularly just being cooped up in the house and sitting a lot lately. So we're going to go ahead and sit on our knees here. We're actually going to lift our seat and let our right hip come to the floor so that our legs are kind of stacked behind us. Our hip is just off to the side. I sort of have my left sit bone here on my right foot. Letting this right hand plant into the ground, we're going to tip over into a side stretch to this right side. Just temporarily. Coming up through center, the left hand comes to the floor outside of those legs, the right hand comes up towards the ceiling, finding some length here, and then tipping over towards that left side. Feeling a nice, warm stretch into that right hip and even up into the belly maybe, into the side, maybe even the lower back. Lifting that right arm up to the sky, coming down to the floor. That left arm is going to come up and over again. Here you've got the option, if you'd like, to push those hips forward, that left hip out. Lifting up, coming back down. We're going to go ahead and move through center. So through seated on our heels. Maybe just recalibrating, maybe seeing if it feels different from one side to the other. And then we'll go ahead and shift our seat to the left side so that left sit bone comes towards the earth, that left hip, that right sit bone almost sitting on that left foot. Kind of how, is it Ariel, the Little Mermaid, sits on her rock? Planting this left hand here, the right hand comes up overhead, taking a tiny bend over to the left, lifting up through center, planting the right hand, finding some length on this left side, and then tipping over towards the right. Again, stretching into that left side in a little bit different way than how we usually stretch. If you don't usually feel a stretch on the side bends, this might be helpful to get a little bit deeper in there. Letting that heart shine out, that shoulder stays back, that gaze stays up. Seeing if you can let the breath slow. Lifting up through center, that left hand plants. This time when the right hand comes up and over, the hips can come up with it, or they can stay on the ground. And releasing everything back to the floor. Going ahead, coming back to sitting on the heels, bringing the hands to the tops of the legs here, closing the eyes. Taking a deep inhale. An audible exhale. Deep inhale. Audible exhale. We're We're going to go ahead and interlock the hands behind the back here, pulling the shoulders down. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you begin to fold forward, tucking the head, maybe letting the hands come off the back. Taking 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, lifting up nice and slow, letting those hands come back down the back, releasing that grasp of the hands. And when we're ready, we will come back down to our back. Any way you get there. Bending the knees with the feet firmly on the floor. Taking this right foot up towards the ceiling, crossing the right ankle over the left knee. Maybe taking the right hand to push, just gentle on that right knee. Just below the right knee, I should say, to find some length here. And then deciding if you'd like to stay right where you're at, or if you'd like to lift that left leg off the floor, grabbing behind the thigh, grabbing for the shin, whatever place is comfortable for you. I like to rotate my ankle here. 1, because it feels good, and 2, because I'm often very wiggly. Sometimes it feels nice to rock the hips side to side here. When you're ready, we'll let the left foot come to the floor. We're going to take a twist over to that left side, the bottom of this right foot coming to the floor here. The hands can be wherever is comfortable, out in T. The gaze can be over the left or over the right. If you don't feel this twist in your right hip, imagine almost using the muscles to try to draw it back towards the earth. And you might start to feel a stretch happen along the side of your leg. Almost this sort of opposites. Back through center. You're going to switch legs so the right foot comes to the floor, the left ankle over the right knee. Maybe a gentle push on that left leg. And then deciding again if you'd like to stay put where you're at, or if you'd like to start to work this right leg off the floor, grabbing behind the thigh here, or grabbing for the shin. Taking a roll of the ankle if you like. Maybe a rock side to side. There's a lot of stillness in yoga, but there's also a lot to be said about the movement and exploration of how your body works, how it feels. Letting this right foot come to the floor, we're going to twist over towards the right side. So the bottom of the left foot comes towards the floor. Arms can be out in T. The gaze can be right or left. If you are not feeling a stretch in this hip, almost think about it as if you're trying to pull this hip back down towards the earth. This opposite direction, this movement where the knee is going up. The hip is working its way down. We're not rolling back. We're just finding some length. more breath here. When you're ready, those knees will come back through center, hugging them in tight. Taking any final movements that you want here, whether it's a rock side to side, maybe a happy baby, maybe something entirely different. Starting to settle in, allowing yourself to feel the heaviness of the body. Sinking in, slowing the breath. Coming back to that asteya, that act of non-stealing. There's one quote from this book that I've been sharing with you that I think is really valid for all of us, no matter where we're at, no matter what we're going through. The author says, I think life is like this. It gives us tasks that, should we succeed, grow us into the kind of people that life can trust with important things. When you're ready, we'll begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe rocking the head side to side. Letting the arms come long overhead. Taking as much space up as you possibly can. Inhaling and letting that breath go. Inhaling once more, letting that breath go. Gently rolling to your favorite side in this fetal pose. Maybe vowing to yourself to work on that asteya, that non-stealing. Particularly in this isolation and how we steal from ourselves. And instead, maybe thinking about how we can give back to ourselves. Possibly even just making a mental note to try to give yourself that fresh start. When you're ready, you'll push yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands to heart center. Today we might do this just a little bit different. So rubbing the hands together, creating some energy, friction, gathering up all that goodness from your practice. And gently placing those hands on your heart, closing the eyes. Imagining all this love and light. Imagining sending that out to all the people you love, to your friends and family, to the other folks that are watching this video either today or maybe any different day. As a reminder that we're all connected in this human experience, no matter if we cannot be connected in person. Bringing the hands back to heart center, tucking the chin. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace in body, peace in speech, peace in mind. Namaste. I hope you all have a lovely evening. Be back teaching on Sunday night at 7. And as always, if there's anything that anybody would like to work on, or if anyone is going through anything in particular that we can work into class or that you'd like to share, please reach out to me, because I want to make sure that you all are getting what it is that you need from these classes, even though we're far away. And it's hard without any feedback. I can't see you. I can't feel the energy that's happening. So if there is anything, please reach out, make comments, find me on Facebook and shoot me a note. And I'd be happy to try to work that in for our next class. So everyone have a lovely evening. I'll see a lot of you back on Sunday. Mwah.